Welcome to Waifus of Overwatch, Halloween edition. Sorry, I couldn't help. My name is Erin Fitzgerald.
And this is Danielle LOVES.
And we are your hosts for today's episode, which it's been a long time since we did our last episode. Our last episode was episode 20 with Fred Tatasciore. Dad, well, guys, we are not going to let you down for the Halloween episode, the scariest episode there is, because we finally have, I know you guys are super excited, and I'm kind of dragging on this introduction, almost like to torture you, but you probably already know who it is because the title of this episode, it probably says who it is. So, Matilda Smedius. Did I do it right?
Yeah. Yes,
yay! Woo! The actress who voices Brigitta. So, straight from Sweden to your ears, you're welcome. Welcome to the show, Matilda.
Thank you. I'm super excited. I'm so glad I get to be on the Halloween episode. I love Halloween.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Yes. Who doesn't?
Well, some people maybe. I don't know who they are, though.
I'm obsessed with Halloween. I love, like, every day for October, every day is Halloween until October.
Yes.
Over.
The whole month.
But it is like that. I mean, it's such a mood.
Yeah, right?
Just a big mood.
Yeah, it is. And it really helps that Overwatch has that great Halloween event, which just, every day. I love it so much. It's so much fun. So spoopy. I love it. Well, for anybody who isn't familiar with Brigitta's character, which I know you are because you've probably been murdered by her a million times. We all know I have. Anybody who watches our Twitch streams knows that Brigitta's the character and I have a little salt. We have a little salt. It's salty, so it definitely is scary. And I'm a little bit embarrassed talking to Matilda because of the amount of salt I have thrown at her character. So this is a real thing.
I'm used to it.
Are you really like I mean, that's a sign that your character is pretty badass, that people are salty against your character. Like Mace.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Do they contact you and say, your character pisses me off? Do they reach out? Wow,
they comment on my tweets, on my Instagram. They send me DMs about it.
What?
They comment on my YouTube channel.
Whoa, guys, people who are listening, that's not cool. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Also, the salt is towards the character, not the actor.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, I just don't read it. Like,
no, that's what you got to do.
It's a good idea. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that don't like her, and a lot of people like myself who love her a lot.
Really
I enjoy her.
You're so good at playing her. I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
I need to see sometime. I'm really bad at playing her. I'm not.
I'll have to teach you. Like, we could do like some one-on-one Brigitte lessons, and
she's really good. She taught Chloe how to play Widow. So it's legit. But also on PS4, so I don't know if you PS4.
Oh, well, I have PC, so.
You do. Because you're Brigitta. Oh, PC. Shakes head. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm somewhat joking. I'm just now trying to learn how to play Overwatch on PC. It's not going well, Matilda. It's not going well at all.
Yes. I think it's so much easier with first-person shooter games on PC. Like, I can't do it on console.
I don't understand all the buttons. I can't. It's like playing the piano.
There are more buttons on the controller.
No, there's only like
Plus
4.
You need to, when you have the keyboard and your mouse, it's just perfect for moving the camera and walking at the same. Like, it's just.
I still get a little nauseous on PC. Like, it took me, because my very first-person shooter was Overwatch, and on PS4 when I started it, Danielle remembers, I was nauseous all the time for the first-person view. But now that I'm relearning it on PC, that controlling the mouse and the view, whatever, it makes me nauseous. I'm still, so that's.
I mean, I got nauseous when I tried VR the first time.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, what did you play? What did you play when you VR'd?
I played Jet Island, I think it's called.
Okay.
It's literally, you just go around on an island and you have like sort of like a hoverboard-ish.
That sounds awesome.
Jetpacks on your hands.
Jetpacks
and then you
on your
shoot
hands.
out things to like grab onto surfaces and then like pull yourself closer to them. So you just kind of, I mean, there are bosses and everything, but I think my brother already like killed them all. So what I did, I just flew around the whole island. It was insane. And in the beginning, I was just like, I was freaking out. And my dad, he tried, and he's 73. He was totally calm.
Oh,
he was so cool during the whole thing. And I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Well, no, he wasn't good at it.
But he was calm not being good at it.
He was calm.
That's impressive.
And meanwhile, I was freaking out. And my brother helped me to like start flying. And I was like, no. You know, just go up in the air and it feels like you're really there. It's just,
that is a trip.
So scary.
So if you're afraid of heights, then VR would be terrifying.
Yeah, I am afraid of heights.
Oh,
but
no.
the thing is, you kind of get used to it because in the beginning, you're more convinced that it's a real world.
Right.
Which sounds like I'm crazy, but in the beginning, it really felt like that. But then you get used to it and you kind of still sense the room that you're in.
Because your mind wouldn't know the difference, right? It's all about perception of space and time. So your mind wouldn't know the difference until you trained your mind. Don't worry, this is not real.
Exactly. So that's how it felt. And the thing is, whenever it gets scary, you just close your eyes. Like whenever
like real life.
Exactly.
Like when you're bashing my brains out in Overwatch, I'm just close my eyes. Stop hitting me, Brigitte. Stop hitting me.
Exactly. You just close your eyes. No, the thing is, it's like I remember in the beginning, I kept like going in full speed, like towards like a mountain wall, and I was like, oh no. And then, you know, you kind of freak out, and then you just close your eyes, and then when you open them, you're just standing there, very, very close to the mountain wall.
Is your brother older or younger than you?
He's older.
Okay, I love it. That's awesome. So, I have a million questions, but did you start playing video games because your brother was already playing video games? Like, was it your brother who? Yeah. Well, okay. So
whatever my brother did, I did.
I freaking love it. What's the age difference?
4 years.
Oh, that's adorable.
So I'd say it's perfect because like he wasn't too old for me to understand what he was doing,
right?
But he was old enough for me to for him to lead me through life, you know.
Oh, so what was the first game that you remember him teaching you?
I think we had Nintendo 64.
Yes.
And I think we played GoldenEye a lot. Is that on Nintendo 64?
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. It is. My brother played that game.
Nice. Yeah, we played that, and I remember there was a Matrix game.
Oh, was it Enter the Matrix, or that's another game?
No, I think it was Enter the Matrix. I think it was Enter the Matrix.
Probably. I remember playing a lot of GameCube and Mario Sunshine. Oh my gosh! The first games I remember is like the Mario game for Nintendo 64 and GoldenEye. I think
Gamer Girl.
Banjo-Kazooie. Oh my gosh!
Gonna have a moment. My sister and I love that game so much. That and Snowboard Kids, and we played a lot on there.
Nice,
oh
nice. Yes. Gamer Girls geeking out.
Yes.
Yes.
Got me into it, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And so when I got this part, he showed me Overwatch. So when I got the part, I was just like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell my brother.
So when you so you knew Overwatch before you booked the part.
Exactly. So I think I played it when it came out, and
nice. Who did you play before you became a character on the game? Who did you play as?
I mean, I don't play Brigitte now.
Oh, okay.
I started out playing Farah.
Oh, yes.
And then for some reason, I just stuck to her because I kind of knew how to play her, but I wasn't good. But I was too afraid to try the other characters.
Right. I was like that too. I get that.
Yeah, and then I started playing Junkrat a lot.
Yes. We all have love for Junkrat. When you need to blow stuff up.
Oh yeah, I love him. And then you could just like fly around like with the bombs and everything. And
see, and you must be skilled at that playing Farah. You must be skilled with the I can. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not
Farah to
good
Junkrat.
at Farah.
Oh no.
I'm so bad. I don't understand why I stuck to her so long, but I'm I'm often too afraid to try new characters. And I think actually my brother was like, just play mystery heroes and you'll force yourself to.
That's what I did.
Character.
Exactly.
It's great practice, definitely.
Yeah, and then you try them, and then like sometimes it goes really well, and then you find a new character that you want to play.
Yeah. Mystery heroes
which is also why I love Overwatch, because like the variety, like you could just like I never grow tired of it. Like I can play it forever and ever and ever.
Like what is it? 3 years in now, and I still play it multiple times every week.
Yeah.
What is that? Not any. I can't think of any game that 3 years later I was still playing multiple times every week.
Yeah. It's so huge. Like,
and I also feel like Overwatch brings something new to the table every single time. Like it's never stale. It's always there's always something new to do on there. It's a great game.
And the whole dynamic, every time they introduce a new character, the entire dynamic of the whole game changes. Like, when your character was brought into the game, it was like there was a shift in the matrix. And we all were like, we were all scrambling. How do we survive? How do we survive? Like, it was mayhem. Which is amazing, because then it just, the whole universe, it's almost like the creation of a new being. The whole universe shifts, and everybody has to start from scratch again.
Yeah,
I really like that. I really think that's why like people don't grow tired of the game, because there's always something new there. And whenever you get tired of a character because you play them for so long, you could just start over with a new character, and then
or just wait for a rework like Torb. That was like a whole new Torb. Who is this? I don't know this character anymore.
So cool.
Yeah,
I really like, and I think it's I think it's brave of the team to do something like that.
Yeah, it is.
But I think that shows that they have the drive to like be innovative and to change things up, and not just go for the easy stuff that they'll know people love, you know.
They're definitely outside of a box. Like they've redefined the entire universe of gaming, period, just with the amount of female characters that they have that are really cool female characters. Like it's not a bunch of half-naked women characters. Exactly. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy I got the part in such a huge and just good game, because I mean, I remember the first time I played it, I just got hooked instantly, and that's never happened before.
Right?
Actually, it takes me a while, especially with online games. I don't dare give it time because I feel the pressure.
Yeah, that's a legit thing. Feeling because that you feel like everybody's judging you. You're not getting good fast enough. Oh my God, you're a terrible team member. And I hate the stress. Exactly. And I hate that on PC you can see the little chat of everyone totally telling you how rotten you are. I hate that.
You gotta take it with a grain of salt, because I mean, I
don't have that on PS4, so I'm not used to that. That's new.
Oh, I mean, it takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
All online games have it, and I think we just need to work together for a better energy vibe.
Well, I feel like the more girl gamers that are represented and represent and have the courage to just play games and not be and that we, I mean, it's fascinating. It's so easy to want to give in to the trolls and the toxicity, but it changes the dynamic when you don't. It changes when you don't respond, and you don't, and you, now that all the games are doing better at reporting people and stuff, it's definitely making it more like zero tolerance for nonsense. So we can just get back to the beauty and the gorgeousness of playing the game. But okay,
I've never understood it.
Right. Right. Me neither. I don't understand it either. But then again, we're just not those humans, I suppose. We are desperate to know. Okay, so word on the street, meaning internet investigations that we've done. they may be false, and this is why is that you have been acting since you were a kid in Sweden, and that your parents were actors. Is any of that true? And if so, we want all the details. Like, where did you tell us where you're from, where you trained as an actor, what you did as a kid, all the way to the age you are now, what your parents did. We want to know all the information about your life.
God.
Only if you want to share it. Only if you want to. We're ready.
So I started when I was 6 years old, and I did my first job then.
What was your first job?
I don't know. I remember I think it was a game or something where you, like, a picture came up and then someone read the word, like, what it was. So I just did that.
Maybe an educational game?
Probably. I mean, it was a long time ago. It was like 15 years ago. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a while.
Yeah, it's a while. But I remember saying the word xylophone. So that's about it. What I remember my first job.
That's a good word. Good practice.
Yeah, I remember them being my mom actually. I don't remember it, but my mom has told me that they were really impressed by me pronouncing xylophone because it's it has an X in it, but I knew the word, so because I think I had a xylophone at home. Whatever, that's all I can not even remember from my first job.
Great
Just humble
start.
bragging about my
good start. That you could rock the word xylophone at the age of 6. You identified X is for xylophone. Thank you, education.
So I did that, and then I went on to do Little Einsteins. I did the Swedish voice for the blonde girl, Annie.
Aww.
So I think that was my first job that I remember. I remember singing a lot. It was like a very artsy kid show. I really liked it.
Yeah, it is a great show. It's a great show.
Yeah. So I did that, and then I just continued, I guess.
Yes, you do.
I mean, it's
Did you have any training as an actor? Like, did you take classes or anything, or were you just from the age of 6? You were just already doing it?
I think. I mean, I went to theater when I was like 13.
Okay.
But that wasn't for dubbing. That was just for having fun acting and stuff.
Playing characters.
But no, I didn't have any training. I think it kind of, since I was so young, I learned as I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I think they look for kids that can read fast.
Yeah.
And that just kind of, I don't know.
No, that's legit.
I don't remember. I didn't need any training.
Yeah, no, but dubbing is a huge career, especially internationally. And now with Netflix, dubbing in 22 languages for all of their shows, and they're making it a requirement that everything is dubbed. I mean, if you're a voice actor in any other country right now, you need to look at the houses that, like the studios that do dubbing, because that's a great way to get to cut your teeth. It's the hardest job there is dubbing. So whether you're dubbing an animation series, whether you're dubbing live action, you just like you said, you have to have exceptional reading skills. You have to be able to match flaps with something that you're seeing. It's all about. I think you have to have great musical timing to be really good at it. I'm only mediocre at it. I have really good engineers that are, helpful, but. Because I'm used to the not having to dub stuff, so I'm kind of spoiled. But I love
that was actually weird when I got into the game because
you have the freedom of time.
With silence in the background. Yeah. It was weird. It was awkward at first. I remember they were just like, "Okay, take 3, go," and I was like,
I'm curious. Were you fast? Were you quick? Did they have to slow you down? Because I would imagine from dubbing, you just get used to fitting things in.
I think, I don't remember it, but I mean, I remember them slowing me down a few times, but then sometimes they also speed you up because it depends on what part of it, like what part of the game it is in.
You have to depend on the director a lot more. Yeah.
Exactly. But I remember it was really, really awkward. The first lines were just like, okay, so you just take 3 on this line, and then we'll see if any of them work. And I was like, okay. And it's just silent. I mean, I'm used to having like the line before and English in the background or whatever original language there is. But nothing. It was just silence.
You're literally creating the character. You are creating the character. And that's the difference, for sure.
And all my friends play Overwatch, so the pressure was on.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I kept thinking about that in the studio.
I mean, you didn't have the blessing of not knowing what the game was or knowing anything about it. Like, you actually, that is pressure to come into a not only a huge title, but maybe the biggest game title on the planet, and everybody already knowing all the characters and you even knowing the characters. I mean, that has to be stressful to be like, how do I not suck? I just want to make sure I don't suck.
But I think it helped a lot that I played the game, because when I got some lines, like I can imagine if you don't play games and you just know, like, okay, I guess my character's gonna scream this at some point of the game,
right?
You know, but I knew, like, when it was like enemy on the left, like I know they're in the heat of it. Yes. Well, actually, maybe like every actor would know that, but like defend the objective.
No, they don't.
Get on the payload, like.
Yeah, they don't know. No, there's a lot of actors for video games that don't play video games.
Yeah, they don't play.
Which, and they have to depend on the director more because they don't know what's going on in the gameplay. Although, like, motion capture makes it easy. If you do performance capture, you're literally physically doing it, which is easier. Yeah. But that is really fascinating. Like, I do think in this day and age, if you're an actor in video games, if you don't play video games, trust and believe there will be an actor who does.
Yeah.
And it will be, I mean, of course, you know, casting will hire whoever they need to cast for a role, whether they play video games or not. But I think you're right. I think playing it makes it easier and allows you to do the job faster, and you can lock it in. It feels good to know why you're saying something as opposed to going, I don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Why am I just saying this random line? Yeah.
So it helped a lot, like thinking about the other characters and how they say the lines and like knowing the dynamic. And
that explains it, because you really do. Your character really does have chemistry with everybody in the game, in the in-game dialogue before the matches and stuff. It's your character feels so natural having conversations with people, and that makes sense. That's probably why.
Plus, she fits in very well with the rest of the cast too. Exactly. Like, she blends in so well.
Well, I mean, I really like the dynamic between her and her father, and Reinhardt and all that. Like, I think it's so funny that
it really
with
is.
Fortnite's turrets, and now they have someone like his daughter comes in and she's like, well, he really likes the turrets more than he likes me.
Right. Aww. Right. Come on, baby. Right.
I do. There is an exchange, like a couple of exchanges I've noticed in Junkenstein's Revenge between Torbjorn and Brigitte, and I'm like, wow, he's prioritizing like his work over his daughter, and it's like, okay. Thanks, Torb.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of dads do that because in the dad's mind, they're thinking, I'm making a living so that you can have a better life. So it's important for me to focus on work because it's going to make your life easier. Thinking that because it's that male father perspective of like, that is me showing you I love you. But as girls, we're like, no, time. We'd like your time, please. We'd like to just hang out with you. What? No, that doesn't work for me. Thanks, Dad. That's funny. So, were your parents actors too?
Yeah, both my parents are voice actors, and my dad is.
That is so cool.
Theater actor. My mom used to do. Oh, what are they called? Variety shows? Is that it? Where you have the sketch?
Yes, it's a variety
show.
She used to do that a lot.
Is there a famous variety show in Sweden?
Well, she wasn't on it. If there is one, I think no. They did I I think they did a local variety show.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I mean, for me, it was the biggest production ever because I got to like run backstage and I got to see everybody changing and going out on stage, and then I got to see the shows and everything. But I like, it's hard to tell after all these years. Like, they don't do it anymore. I think it was just like a local variety show.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
I loved it.
That's the equivalent of being brought up in the theater. It's like being in the theater.
In the theater.
With all the costumes and everything. Yeah. In the theater. We've gotten very posh all of a sudden. Yes.
I'm very happy I got to grow up with that because I just, like, I love acting. I love singing. I love dancing, although I'm not very good at it. But I just love anything that has with, like, a show to do.
Are you in any shows right now locally that you want to promote or anything? Like, are you working on anything else? Obviously outside of Overwatch, but.
I mean, I do the Swedish voice of Clary in Shadowhunters. So if anyone wants to see the Swedish version
of Shadowhunters,
I mean, it is like my favorite show to dub.
Yay!
Because we get to make out, we get to curse, we get to cry, we get to kill each other. It's so much fun. Like, I just had such a blast. I remember after the first season, we were just like, oh my God, they're going to realize the mistake of dubbing this show. That's why I was like, oh, what? Netflix dubs all their shows? Because we've been wrecking our brains around, like, why do they dub this show? Like, it's not.
Because Netflix dubs everything, and there's no limits and there's no rules. They let content creators make what they want to make, and then if it's a show that they wholeheartedly support, and it doesn't matter what country the show comes from. So, like, if it's a show from Sweden that they're like, yeah, this is a badass show, they'll dub it in 22 other countries, including English. So, like, I get to watch shows with English dubs here that I would never have seen if it weren't for Netflix, because it would have never been picked up on cable. So it's been interesting watching all the dub houses that are used to a little bit of work. Now all the dub houses internationally are getting bombarded with work. So if you're in any country and you want to be a voice actor, you do not have to move necessarily to a whole other country to act. You can probably if you go to the main city that does all the dubbing, or find out where the dubbing studios are, you could probably start there. I know, I mean, because Chloe was doing that in France. I mean, she's obviously an actress on stage and screen and stuff, but she was doing a lot of dub work in French, which is how they found her in the first place. And the same with with Anna's actress, Aisha. She basically runs a dub house in Egypt.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like they went to her to cast the role of Anna. So she was looking for actors to be Anna, and Andrea was like, can we just have you try it? Like, she didn't even think to put herself out for the role, and she's obviously perfect for the role. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, we've had some great interviews, finding out some great things on the show. We're like, well, that's fascinating. I didn't know. So we've dug all the gold. It's pretty great. So can you tell us about your auditioning for it? Like, how did Andrea find you? How did they find you?
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly how they found me, but it's not Blizzard, like, going to Sweden and deep diving into the world of voice actors. They go to local
casting studios or dubbing houses.
Exactly. Yeah. I got casted for a voice test at a studio where I worked before. And I don't think he told me it was going to be in English, because I remember coming there and being like, oh, this is in English. I wish I knew that. But I remember it was like, I mean, with all the jobs, it's just like, you do a voice test, you never know if you're going to get it or not.
Yeah.
So I just went there, and I think I brought my, the boyfriend I had then, I brought him. I was like, hi, sorry, can I use the bathroom? And he was like, yeah, but this is kind of, can he wait outside? And I was like, okay. Because usually
it's more casual.
Industry, it's more casual. I don't want to out anybody, but it is casual. So I was like, oh, yeah, of course. So he had to wait outside, and then I got in, and it was in English, and I was like, okay, this seems
is different.
Yeah, and I was very intrigued, but I felt my English was so bad. Like, I was just, oh, I sound too Swedish. They're not gonna like it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Little did you know that that's exactly what they were looking for.
I know, it's so ironic, but I was like, oh, they're not gonna, like, I can't, like, why didn't I think then, oh, they're probably looking in Sweden because they want someone who sounds Swedish. Like, for me, it was just like, oh, they probably want someone who sounds authentic. So I did the voice test, and then I remember telling my mom about it, and like, oh, I did this really cool voices. It's like, it was for a game, I think. And then I said like, oh, I'm probably not gonna get it. And then I got a call for a second voice test, and I was very surprised. So, but I did that voice test, and it was more. So the first voice test was just like kind of plain lines that had nothing to do with anything. And then the second voice test was more acting and more just like, yeah, it was more focused on acting. And seeing what I could do, I guess. And then, I mean, I remember I got to know that it was for Blizzard during the second voice test, and I was just like, oh my God.
That's when everything was making sense. It's like,
did the anxiety go up?
I never thought Overwatch. I just think like, I don't know, an NPC in some game or something. Like, right. It didn't even occur to me that Overwatch has all these different characters from different countries. Like, it just didn't exist in my mind. I was just like, okay, Blizzard, that's cool. And then, well, I mean, I had a much bigger reaction.
Right.
I didn't think it was Overwatch. And then I did a third voice test. And I was like, come on, just cast me already. I'm perfect for this. No, I remember doing the third voice test, and then I read through the lines, and I saw that it had like defend the objective and S with the payload in it. And I was freaking out in the studio. Like, it was so cool.
Yeah.
I just remember like, yes. Oh my God. Like, I couldn't, because I knew it was Blizzard. I knew it was for a game. Yes. And then just seeing that there. I mean, I remember my first instinct was just like, oh my God. And then I was like, well, maybe they just used Overwatch lines as like, maybe it's just like something they use for the voice test or something like that. And then, like, I think there were more like,
down. This isn't real. I need to perform well. This isn't real.
Exactly. And then I was like, well, I'm going to give 110% on this. And like, I've never ever tried so hard in my life. I've never like, I just remember even on the second voice test, I was just like, I need to really do good now. And for some reason I did good, I think, because like, usually when you think that, you get really stressed up and then you feel the pressure, and then it just goes awful. But I really feel like I just had to get this. Like, it just felt right. Nice. Like, I know the game and I know everything. Like, it it was so weird. But then I did the third voice test and I read those lines. I remember telling Andrea, who's the director, I remember telling her at the end of the voice test, they were like, oh, how do you feel like it went? And I was like, oh, it went really good. I'm actually a Blizzard fan. And they were like, oh, really? I was like, yeah. They were like, oh, what games do you play? I was like, well, some Hearthstone, mostly Overwatch. And they were like, oh, okay. And I'm guessing most of the actors that they do the voice test with, they don't know the lines.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they weren't really prepared that I was going to be like, that I recognized them.
Right.
But I think it was funny. Like, we laughed about it. And then after that, I got the call. And then...
So exciting.
And the magic happened.
It was so much fun. Like, yeah.
And you created this character that she is you.
It.
Yeah, she's so what parts of yourself do you find are also parts of Brigitta? Like, and what parts are the same and what parts are different between you and Brigitta?
I mean, I feel like she's the positive side of me. I do have a very dark side sometimes, and I can be quite cynical and
you're
all
human?
that. But...
Welcome. Says every girl ever. Like, oh, yes, that dark side, yes.
I'm not just all sweet, No, but she really, I mean, I definitely feel like she is a part of me because whenever someone's sad or whenever someone's like, if they have a problem, I'm like super positive. Like, I wish I could be that for myself. But, this whole thing, like, oh, just try again. Like no mistake is too big to make up for. Like just redo it. And if you're good at something, just flaunt it. This positive, great attitude that I wish I had all the time, but I don't.
But you do have it. You do have it.
No, you're too precious. You really are.
No.
And so would you say then that the parts that are different is that Brigitte, are you saying that Brigitte never has a dark side? Because maybe we just haven't seen it yet because she's a girl and she's probably a normal girl.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she does. But she's very strong and very cheery. And I think it takes a lot to bring her down. But she does worry a lot, and she worries about Reinhardt, and so she does have that sensitive, serious side to her. But I think her overall personality, she's just going forward all the time. At all times, she's going forward, and I love that. I love that because it also reflects her gameplay. Like she's always shields up and moving forward. Like she is a front lines kind of girl.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah. What other things do you connect with about Brigitta?
Well, she loves eating, and I love eating.
Yay!
Yay! Like she loves working out. I do not love working out, so we differ there. And then, the cats, of course. Oh my gosh,
the cats.
Love cats. I'm very happy that I get to share that with her and with all the fans. Like, I've seen so many pictures of cats, and I cannot get enough.
So this is an open invitation. Instead of being salty about Brigitta, just email Matilda some cats.
Yes.
And it'll make everybody happy. You'll get over your
I love that you want them to use email for that.
No, not email. No. Social media. Twitter. It's so much easier. Twitter. Nobody DM, nobody email, nobody has time for that. Just stick to the social media. We all see the social media. If you tweet at us, we do see it. If you're going to be toxic, you will get muted and blocked. You're welcome. Kitty cats only. This is a kitty cat only zone. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so the next time I get beaten by you, I'm going to send you a nice little kitty cat so you know that I just died.
Just think of the fluffy cats. This is what I think of. I think of the little fluffy cat sprays that she has.
Yeah. I like Galaxy cats are my favorite. I don't know why I love Galaxy cats. Oh, so cute.
And people keep talking to me about jetpack cats.
Yes, jetpack cat. Yes. That needs to be a thing.
Please elaborate on jetpack cats.
People are on me like, you need to make this happen, Matilda. This is on you. This is your responsibility. Come on now. And I'm like, okay, I'll just call everyone I know. But I do want the jetpack cat as well.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
And we already have Hammond, so we should.
I feel like it's possible. Yeah. There's got to be a little jetpack cat one day. Is it fair? Is it a fair statement to say that being in Overwatch has changed your life at all?
It's an understatement to say it's changed. It has become a new life. It's.
Please explain for those who don't understand.
I wish I could explain it, but it's so. It's still new to me, and the whole thing.
What was life before Overwatch? What's the differences between the life before Overwatch and life after Overwatch?
Well, before Overwatch, I was working at a dubbing studio here in Stockholm, and I was working at the booking department. So I called the actors and I booked them, and I also did voice work on the side, and then. I mean, I graduated from high school just a couple years ago. So I was still in the post-graduation
transition. That's a big transition. Yeah, that's a huge transition.
I found a diary from a year ago, and I read it, and it said like, because I was going on a trip. So I remember I bought this book because I was going on a trip, and I wanted to like write a diary when I was going. And so I wrote, let me see, I actually have it here. Let me see. This is straight out from my diary. The first thing in the diary. It says, I really needed to get a vacation. It's been a year since I graduated, and what have I done? Wow. Everybody else is traveling or studying or working on their careers. And in 2 months, I've worked at the same studio, this is really hard to translate. But I worked at the same studio since I was like 15. I've gone there every summer, and then I started there after graduation. And I said here, I'm looking forward to the future. I just don't know what's there for me yet. But I guess I decided that.
That's pretty powerful. Now here's I have a question. Was it the same studio? Is that the studio that you booked Overwatch through?
No.
It was a different studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the sticking with the studio and dubbing and all of that, it's interesting because for me, from my perspective, being much older than you, I look and I see I see that beautiful thing that happens when people stay consistent, doing little things every day and staying consistent. The ordinary things done consistently can produce extraordinary results. And what it sounds like is that's exactly what it's called, the slight edge. Some guy named Jeff Olson wrote a book on it called The Slight Edge. If you just do what you are supposed to do every day, even if it feels like it's mundane and it feels like you're going at a plateau and you're not it doesn't feel like you're going anywhere. It doesn't mean just because you can't see it doesn't mean you aren't going somewhere. It just feels that way because it's repetitive. But it does build over time to wonderful things, and you are a living example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting to read that, because I remember I barely had any voice jobs, and I was feeling really like stuck at this office job. Like, I had wonderful colleagues, I had such a good time, but I wasn't doing what I love doing, which is acting or singing or being creative in any way. And now that's what I do full time. It's so weird.
That's
and
amazing.
I mean, I can't say that do what I did and then you'll get here, because I have no idea how I got here.
Yeah, and everyone's journey is different. Everyone's journey is different.
But that ordinary thing that you do every day, everyone knows what that is for themselves. Like, everybody, because everybody's different, it's not going to be I can't do what you did every day, because that's not necessarily what I'm supposed to do every day. But I think we all know what it is that feels in alignment with our purpose to do. If we did it every day, it would build us up to be ready for when the moment happens, when the extraordinary occurs.
Exactly, because I've always been working on my English.
See?
And I've always come to this point where I'm like, who cares? Like, I'm never gonna book a gig where I speak English. I'm never gonna become international in that way. So pronunciation
but you
matter.
Did it anyway. You still worked on it.
Yeah.
See, that there's that intuitive part of ourselves that knows what's going to happen, even though we don't know.
It's so.
That's powerful. That you worked on English every day, thinking, why am I working on English? This doesn't make any sense. I still don't understand why I speak French. I don't understand. Nobody in my family speaks French. At 4 years old, I forced my parents to put me in a French school. I have spoken French my entire life. I have no use for it other than, I get to talk to Africans who move to LA who speak French. I'm like, oh, yay, someone I can speak French with. And Chloe, I get to speak French with Chloe.
Yeah.
But other than that, I still don't know why I have kept my French up, but I still do. So I think maybe, it's for a purpose. You never know what the purpose is. I love that you did that. I love that. And here you are in an international English-speaking role.
It's so
amazing.
Weird. I never thought it would happen. So, I mean, I guess that's because I've been talking to a lot of fans, and they're like, "Oh, I like they're insecure about the future. They want to become voice actors. They don't know how to do it. And then I just tell them to keep going, because you literally don't know what's going to happen in tomorrow or in a year. Like, you don't know. I had no idea. Like, the girl writing that diary, like, she was so sad and felt like nothing she did mattered. Yeah. But then all the things she did ended up leading to wherever I am now.
And where are you now? Like for people who you're on the other side of a journey, where are you now? What does it look like for you? And I mean, obviously you said you're working more full time, but energetically and in your day-to-day life, what has shifted for you?
I mean, for me, it's shifted that I do a lot more. I have time to do a lot more creative stuff, and I focus more on voice acting jobs now, and I get to go to conventions, and I get to meet like fans and other voice actors and other guests at the conventions, and I just, for me, I got out of my rut of being just going to work, coming home from work, falling asleep, going to work, coming home from work, falling asleep, having a dull weekend because I knew I was going to work the next week. So my weekends were just like, nah.
Yeah. You got to take care of it. You got to take care of the instrument. Yes. Mm-hmm. You got to make sure it's operational. Yeah. Well, and speaking of conventions, I would be remiss for our audience not to, if I didn't mention that BlizzCon is in a few days from this day of releasing, because today's Halloween. So BlizzCon's in a few days. And for those of you who aren't able to go to BlizzCon, we're not going to ask. I'm not asking Matilda if she's going, because she wouldn't be able to say even if she did. So we're not asking that question at all. So don't even expect it. If you're going to BlizzCon, you will see whether or not she ends up there. Who knows? But if you don't go, make sure you guys get the BlizzCon virtual ticket this year. Like, they're doing some stuff this year to really make that virtual ticket worthwhile. It's not just a virtual ticket of promoting Blizzard stuff. They're really, this year they've made some shifts and changes to make the BlizzCon. I chose not to go to BlizzCon in person this year. I chose to get the virtual ticket because I have some inside information and I wanted to see it. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. I want to see how that plays out. And so if make sure that tune in to BlizzCon this year, guys. I think it's going to be really juicy. And well, it always is. And Blizzard is killing it, and I think they deserve our support. I mean, with the international castings, and I mean, they're changing the face of voiceover, period, just by casting internationally, opening it wide up. And I think and streaming services like Netflix that are also, I mean, I think that there are more opportunities for actors internationally and period than there ever has been. It's all very, very exciting. So I'm so happy you're going to conventions. My fingers are crossed that you're going to BlizzCon, but don't speak on it and whether you are or not. If you're not, that's fine too, but hopefully you are, because that would be fun. But we don't know, so we're not talking about it. You're welcome, everybody.
It's so weird to talk about this thing that's just like there's nothing to say about it. So it's just like nothing fun if you're going, but also it's okay if you're not going. Blah blah blah.
And if you really want to see what's going on, get a virtual ticket. Yes, you're welcome. So at the conventions you've gone to, have you been able to meet some of the other Overwatch actors? I mean, I watched the stream when you were playing Overwatch with Josh Peterson.
I haven't met him. I've just talked to him online.
He is adorable.
He's a sweetie.
He is. I mean, he had such a good stream. I'm not used to streaming. I did my first stream ever, just a few weeks after Brigitte came out, and I did this interview. So I was not used to streams, and then I think the one with Josh was my second stream ever.
Okay, awesome.
Nice.
So I was really, really nervous, but it went really well, and it was just casual and fun and nice, and we played with some of the people. So we had people come into our kind of words.
Right.
We had people in the chat to play with us, which is really fun as well, and they were so nice. Whenever it was okay, so now you played a couple of times, maybe you should let in someone new, people were just instantly yeah, okay, and they went out, and then somebody else got in to play with us.
Wow,
so it's
that's
really
pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. So and at the conventions you've gone to, have you gotten to meet any of the other Overwatch actors? Like, who have you gotten to meet in person so far?
On my first convention, I met Cara, who does Tracer.
Wow.
Nice.
And I met Lucy, who does Mercy.
Yay.
And then they were really, really nice. And they were very helpful. It was my first convention. I was so nervous. So I was really, really happy to have them there. And then at SAC Anime, well, my second convention, I don't know why I mentioned it by name.
You can. It's okay. We're big fans.
My first convention was in Wales. It was Wales Comic Con. Will always be in my heart. My first one ever. And then I went to SAC Anime, and I met Carolina, who does Sombra, and I met Elise, who does May, and I met Michael Chu, who's the lead writer.
Yes,
nice.
Yeah, so that was really nice. And I mean, I've kept in touch with the other voice actors online or with social media, and they're so nice. Like,
it's a big family.
It's a big,
very family. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it's a big family, and I love how every actor is a sweet, lovable, like, love ball. Like, everyone's just so sweet and nice to each other, and just in general, and it's beautiful.
It really is.
Nice.
It really
is. Like, instantly invited to this family. You know, it's just.
So you haven't met Darren in person yet?
No, I haven't.
That's gonna be epic.
That's gonna be, yes.
He really is
so
the
sweet.
Dad. Like,
so when you meet him,
Mayor of BlizzCon.
When you meet him, he oozes love. Like, when you meet him, you will feel
nothing but a giant teddy bear. Him and Fred. Oh my God, you're gonna. Very excited.
I've heard that. Everybody asks me, like, "Oh, have you met Darren yet?" Oh, you're gonna love him.
Yeah. And Keith is amazing too, by the way. Torbjorn, Keith Silverstein is the shiz. Like, Danny and I know him for, like, he's him and Matt are the ones that I've worked with the most. So yeah, Keith is amazeballs. He's super sweet, absolutely adorable, really a father. So, like, I feel like that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I hope you guys all get to meet.
I can't wait to just try to teach him some Swedish.
Oh my
God!
Please do.
That'd be awesome.
I want to hear Swedish coming out of Keith's face, like real Swedish.
I think he could do it.
I know he can. Oh,
I think
he can.
Too.
He's so talented. Yeah, that'll be amazing. Oh, that'll be really. I hope you guys video that. Please videotape that.
Oh yeah, I definitely will.
That would be hilarious. Oh, I love it. And so, do you watch Overwatch League at all, or are you in tune with that at all in that universe?
No, I didn't know Overwatch was being played as like an esport until I had no idea. I was like, because that actually, when I got to know that, I was like, so people can play my character?
Yes.
Like, they have. Oh, they have. You know what's insane about Overwatch League? I think the last couple of times it was on, like, Disney XD and ESPN. I'm like, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, we're like living in a time
ESPN picked it
now.
up.
Yeah, it's crazy how, like, we're living in a time where it's like esports is not, because I used to watch, like, I think it was Call of Duty or something on ESPN, like when they had the little tournaments, and I'm like, that's so cool how we're in a time now where we're starting to see esports kind of reach a broader audience now. It's amazing.
Yeah. Like, Danielle and I go to the actual arena and watch them play live. Like, that is something we actually do.
And people play your character a lot. Yes. It's awesome.
Because you're murderous.
So cool. Exactly.
You're quite murderous, and the good combination.
Yeah.
and it is really teamwork makes the dream work kind of a game. You know, it's not about one character standing out. It's about which characters complement each other in a match so that everybody can so that your team can get the advantage to accomplish the objective. And if you're not working as a team, you're going to fail miserably. So and your character works well with a lot of different characters. So shakes head as I think of all the murder I've been having. Certain combinations terrorize me. In a good way.
The combination I love.
Yeah, go for it.
The combination I love with Brigitte is with Zarya. Like that is a
murdering. Oh my God.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I call it the Zargita. Like it's definitely a very effective combo.
Yeah, that is true.
See that in action.
Oh,
I think
yes.
that was awesome.
It's
so badass.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for making the time to come in and join the show with us. We're so grateful. Thank you. We're so excited that, first of all, to do this show. The first year was like mostly because we knew all the male actors, because most of the male actors were from Los Angeles, so it was easy to book them because they're friends. But when the female actors started, we were like, they're so international. They're all, how are we ever going to get them on this show? Would they ever do this show? That we don't know them. And so the last year and a half has been really all the female actors, agreeing to come and do the show. And we're just so grateful because, it's the female characters that are really inspiring to me and that are fully represented, and girl gamers everywhere unite. And
yeah,
it was super awesome, and we're excited to see the growth of your character. And yes. Blizzard, if you're listening, you can't make an animated series too quickly for us. Like, we would like a legit animated series. We know you could do it. All the streaming services would totally lap it up. I know you need to. You just need to. Please make it. Please make it for our faces. Do you have any website, social media? Where can people follow you? Where can people? What would you like to promote for yourself? And also, this comes with a caveat: salty people. You can be nice to the actress and still be salty to Brigitte.
Yeah,
if
please
she's
be nice.
Murdering your face. Please be nice. If you don't have anything nice to say, definitely don't type it out.
Yes.
Definitely. Okay.
Thank you for saying that.
What's the social media that people can reach out and follow you and just tell them how much they love you?
Oh, they can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at M.Smedius. So M and then Smedius, my last name. And they can also find me on YouTube. And there, my name's Matilda Smedius. So.
And you can see the spelling of that from the title of this episode. You're welcome.
And hopefully it will be correct as
well. Yes. And Danielle, because we never remember to promote our own social media.
Yes.
You go first.
Well, you can find me on my website at DanielleMcCraeVO.com and Twitter at DanielleMCVO.
And Twitch, you stream your gameplay.
Oh, Twitch,
please.
Yes. Yes, I do. You can find me on Twitch at Danielle McCrae1.
Perfect. My name is Erin Fitzgerald. That is what you find on Twitter. Erin Fitzbadass on Instagram. Erin Fitzgerald on Twitch. ErinFitzBadass.com website. But if you aren't following us this show, follow us on Twitter. I think it's at Waifus of Overwatch. If not, it's I don't know what it is. Probably Waifus of Overwatch. Waifus of OW. I think it had to be shortened. I think it's Waifus of OW.
Yeah,
that's what we probably had to do. And then our website, waifusofoverwatch.com. And thank you guys for listening and supporting the show. Like, who knew we'd get to episode 21? Who knew that we would keep making it? I know y'all thought that we weren't coming out with another episode. We didn't know we were coming out with another episode. That is all based on actors of the game being open, and also that we want to have conversations with, you know what I mean? We have to find them and have a conversation and see if we're all conversation-y. So it worked. Yeah. Yay, Matilda for the win! Huzzah!
And the Halloween episode at that.
Yes, Halloween episode.
Happy Halloween! Okay. Let's Matilda, give us your best evil laugh for Halloween.
Oh gosh. Okay. The pressure is on.
Give us your worst evil laugh. Your worst evil laugh.
My worst?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, ha 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 ha. I get told that I sound like I have an evil laugh when I laugh normally.
Oh, give us that.
Oh.
But I have a tendency to just I really like I put my head back and I just I just
That's an evil laugh.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
laugh.
Oh no, I just want to laugh. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening to Waifus of Overwatch. My name is Erin Fitzgerald. My co-host is
Danielle McCrae.
And we heart your faces off. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah.
Hang
Bye.